What's up, comic fans? Vernon Kid here, back again, and I know, I'm late, but better late than never, right? Still continuing, I'm still playing catch up, finishing all the books that I purchased in the month of August. So right now we're gonna do all the Marvel books that I got for August 14th, 2024. We got 8 books to cover. 8 books to cover for this round, and some's good. I'm a little upset about one of them, and I'll explain it later. But let's get to it. So first off, we're gonna start with Amazing Spider-Man number 949 or issue 50. Nice cover, right? If you can see that, nice cover. Correct? Yeah. Well, none of this ever happens. This was a nice, quiet issue where pretty much Peter is on a date with Shay, possibly his new flame, Shay Markin. She's a nurse at Ravencroft, and the date starts to go really bad in a sense because Peter's it's the responsibility, you know what I'm saying? He's torn between doing one thing, having a life also for Peter, but also his duty as Spider-Man, because he sees Rhino and I'm forgetting that. Oh my God. I'm forgetting the other villain. I don't like her. I hate her very much. But Peter does. He leaves, but he goes as himself, and he basically goes to Rhino, and I'm forgetting her name, and she's like, "Hey, I'm on a date. Can you guys do this another time?" It's the funniest thing. So it was pretty fine. We move on to Immortal Thor number 14 or number 75. Yeah, man, it's Thor versus Zeus, the All Father versus the Sky Father. And let me tell you, Thor puts it down. Again, you know, when I read Thor in the books, it always makes me wish MCU Thor was like this. So there's a battle between Thor and Zeus. And Zeus is throwing every insult at Thor, you name it. He's basically saying, oh, you know, he's talking about the difference between what the Olympians who worship them and who worship the Vikings. He's talking about your people, the people that worshipped you. They lived in huts. The people that worshiped me, they were scholars and this and that. It's just like, it felt like classism. Like, okay, who had the better worshipers and things like that. And you got Zeus trying to throw lightning bolt, and Thor is just like telling the lightning bolt, okay, move to the side, like away. Lightning bolt, instead of hitting Thor, it just goes. He's literally controlling it, just saying, move. Why? Because he's the god of thunder himself and lightning, so he could do it too. So finally Zeus is just like, all right, let's see you move it now when I'm up close to you. And he starts surging Thor, and Thor just says, you know what, screw this, I'm just gonna absorb all of you. And that's exactly what he does. He absorbs the essence of Zeus that makes him stronger. This is building up to something, but this was really good. Al Ewing is still doing a great job on this book. We move on to Iron Fist. This is a 50-year anniversary special. Yeah, my man Iron Fist, Danny Rand, has been around for 50 years. Congratulations. This is a who's who of people, from even Chris Claremont to current Alicia Wong. All of them, they all in this. So the various stories are good, just telling the stories of from the present to the present Iron Fist and what's going on now. There's even an interesting fight between There's even an interesting training session with Iron Fist. This is a past story. Iron Fist training with Wolverine to battle Sabretooth against, and I think Claremont wrote that. But the overarching thing is that we see Danny fighting for his life in modern time. Now remember, Danny does not have the Iron Fist power anymore. That has gone over to Swordmaster Lin Yu, I believe, yeah. And he's fighting for his life. And who do you think? Who is he fighting against? Razor Fist. And I'm like, what? Why is Razor Fist giving Danny a hard time, even without the power of the Iron Fist? And then they bring back a character that was clearly through Ed Brubaker and Matt Fraction's run. A character that basically comes back to finally get, I guess you could say, revenge or against Danny. In this, we also see that Danny's turning 34. He's turning 34 years old. Now, that character who was in the essence of Razor Fist was actually this character from the Brubaker Matt Fraction run, where it was always wondering why past Iron Fist never made it past age 33. There was a person that was killing them off. And fortunately, in this, Danny gets fucking killed off. Yeah. I hated that. And that little edit scene from the bonus material, from the digital, this better lead some, because I did not like that. Give me a fucking break, really? So we kill off Danny Rand for what? What reason? What's the purpose? Didn't make sense. I hated that. I hated that story, the overarching story in general. It was nice to give Iron Fist some love in terms of celebrating 50 years, because Marvel has been doing that with a couple of characters now. I think Deathlock got one coming out too. So yeah, you gotta remember, Iron Fist came out in the 70s during the big martial art rave. So yeah, but outside of that, yeah, I did not like that. I was like, you'll kill one of my top 10 favorite Marvel characters of all time for what? I didn't like that. The Ultimates, number 3. This is the introduction of the new you could say the Ultimate She-Hulk. This was sad. This was very sad because basically the team goes to an island that is just radiated with gamma radiation, and we see the consequences of it. It's almost as if it's basically playing up, the concept of radiating nearby. What happens if, like, radiation, for example, let's say, for example, the bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima were radioactive bombs. We get to see that, and it's very sad. These people, the Ultimates, meet these individuals who have been mutated by the gamma. Only one of them is really kind of alive, and it's working for him, and it's the new Ultimate She-Hulk here. Outside of that, everybody is either dying or just desperate to die. You got a little baby who turns into this mutated monster, and the only way he can calm down is if it was really, really sad. This was just the consequences of radiation, and it just was sad. This was just it. I'm not speaking on that. That was just sad. And I know issue 4 gets even worse. So they're pulling at your wagons with that one. We move on to Venom War, Spider-Man, number 1. This is by Kelly and Lansing. Yes, Greg Land does the artwork. I wasn't gonna pick this up because I don't like Greg Land's artwork. I don't care for the Tracer, but to see Spider-Man back with the symbiote was actually cool, and I actually liked that the Venom symbiote seems to truly now understand what Peter goes through. He talks about their responsibility. He talks about why he wants to be back with Peter, everything like that. It was actually pretty cool. It actually gave me a sense of okay, it seems like the symbiote has learned over the years why in some cases Peter will always be that post of him that he should have stayed with, and he even says that too. We move on to Werewolf by Night. This is the Red Band issue. This was good. I've always been a big fan of Jacob Russell, Werewolf by Night, and he is in Europe in a castle. Jacob's in a castle, and he's trying to find some, because now the wolf is starting to really get really bloodthirsty, and when he turns into the wolf, yeah, it just brings havoc. It's like almost like old school Hulk. Eliza Bloodstone comes, and she's also there to help her friend. She even says she is. But yeah, it gets real sick. First of all, this cover is just badass. I love this cover right here. It's a badass cover. But it gets really dread and scary, because at one point it's starting to remind me of those old school werewolf movies like Werewolf in London, where Jacob wakes up back as himself, and he sees body parts everywhere. He's like, what the hell happened? What did I do? I lost control again. That's what this is. We move on to the first issue of X Factor #1. Mutants, Your Country Needs You. Okay, first of all, no more land, please. This was an interesting start, because their first mission does not go very well. And it sucks for Angel, Warren. And we also see that Alex Summers, Havoc, and Lorna Dane are trying to, they're arguing over either joining this X Factor or being against it, because Lorna feels that it's not here to help, and well, Alex is more like, I gotta do something. We gotta stop being like his intentions are good, but Alex just came back from the dead, and so he's kind of like, I want to do this. But yeah, their first mission doesn't go well. We see Dark Star, she's in this as well, so but it was fun. This team here doesn't come down here, doesn't come to the end, but it's bad. It was good, but it was their mission was bad. And last but not least, we move on to X-Men #2. This is by M.V.K. Brian Stegman does the artwork. Pretty much, X-Men are back in San Francisco, a place where they once called home. And the people of San Francisco treated them well. They're here. They think it's here to fight an invasion, an alien invasion. But lo and behold, that alien invasion is actually being controlled by a little boy mutant who could do this. And the X-Men do what they do best. Pretty much it. Well, guys, those are all the books that I read Marvel for August 14th, 2024. I know there was a lot of people that asked, like, what about DC books? What are DC books? I don't read a lot of DC in singles anymore, guys. I really don't. Mostly all my DC is in trades, but I will be getting to those as well. There will be more indie showcase coming as well, so for all indie books. But outside of that, guys, those are all the Marvel books I got for August 14th. I move on to the books I got for August later on, for Marvel for August 21st. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Deuces.